In the tunnel.
In the tunnel.
In the tunnel. You're listening to In the Tunnel.
Hello and welcome to In the Tunnel, episode number 75.
So, I looked up what 3/4 of a centennial would be, and apparently it's a drip line pipe that goes for 33 cents.
Wait,
It's 3/4 inches. It's 33 cents a foot. And the brand name is Centennial.
Okay.
So, for those who are wondering how this starts off before the show, I asked Sean, is there, because centennial means 100 of something, and I was saying, is there a fancy name for 3/4 of like a century or 3/4 of 100? And it turns out there's not. But this is the way we find out about this stuff, is a last minute Google search. So yeah, things are looking up here.
Yeah, I mean, aside from it's been a little while since even our last episode, not as long as the previous ones.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's been a little while for us, so we're gonna just kick right off. Literally.
I get it.
Oh, okay. So yeah, we're starting with the NFL, and we're let's just take a look at the games that aren't that are going on Sunday, or
Just look at all the games, just regardless of the train wreck that might be occurring in the state of Tennessee.
yeah. So anyway, let's just get it out of the way. The game happened for us. So Thursday is in the past for us. So the game happened. Broncos and Jets. That night game. Have anything to say about it? No?
I said, well, whatever. I mean, can you still hear me here?
Yeah.
Whatever's going on with this MetLife Stadium field that's like brand new this season, it needs to stop. Because not only are visiting players complaining, but I watched maybe 6 or 7 minutes of the first and second quarter, and like it's the injuries are bad. Like that wide receiver for the Jets, and I get that Darnold kind of threw a comeback route pass where he would have had to turn.
Yeah.
He didn't make it to the turn before his legs gave out. He just fell straight to the ground. Like, shit is really bad. Their number one pick for this year, Becton, got hurt. Darnold got hurt for a bit, which I think they were saying was a shoulder, if I was told correctly on that. But, like, a shoulder, he could have slid wrong and, like, gotten something fucked up in his shoulder, so you never know there. But, yeah, I'm amazed that the Jets and Giants players or organizations don't have more players on the IR. Because it seems like every team that goes and plays wherever they play their home games gets kind of sliced up. Like, look at San Francisco.
Yeah. Something, I don't know, like something has to happen or about that field, or maybe it just has to get broken in some more.
What do you mean broken in some more? They literally had a field from, when did it open, like 2012 till now, that was working perfectly fine. And they decided to go a different direction. It must have been like the cheap-ass grass that Hunter and Central used when we went there for their turf field, because this shit was... it looks the same on TV, but you can tell there's a clear difference to the players.
Yeah.
Players are saying it's the worst field that they've ever played on. And keep in mind, when these guys are kids, they're just playing on, like, basically dirt fields that have been so torn up.
Yeah. All right. Let's look ahead now to the rest of the games this week, I guess.
Sure.
So for the 1 o'clock slot, which is most of the games, we have the Saints and Lions, Chargers, Bucks, Jags, Bengals, Vikings, Texans, Seahawks, Dolphins, Browns, Cowboys, Cardinals, Panthers, and then the Colts, Bears, and Ravens football team, Washington.
Did you just say the Ravens football team?
The Ravens and the football team.
I said Ravens football team as if it was a singular thing.
Nope, Ravens and the football team. So out of
the backyard brawl that's going to end in somebody getting murdered, and it's going to be Washington.
So what's the game to watch at 1 o'clock?
Well, it's not the Washington game. The Washington game is going to be the second thing this week in Washington that goes down. But this one not so much surprisingly. The other thing, a little bit of a surprise, but may not go down. So you can figure that one out based on context. We don't do politics.
All right.
Let's see. Well, the Saints, my prediction is that the Saints probably are going to be, 2-2 by the end of this?
Yeah, so hold on. The wheel will predict these games in a second. We just want to go through the games a little bit.
I think the Chargers-Buccaneers has the potential of being really good.
Yeah, I can see that.
Because I think that the Chargers are better than what people think, especially now with Herbert playing. Cardinals and Panthers is okay, I guess, but... Now, on paper, the Vikings and Texans going into the season would probably have been your answer. But the fact that they're both 0-3...
Yeah, no.
The fact that the Vikings have no defense, despite trading for Ngakoue and all those other pieces.
All right, let's look at the 4 o'clock games. So we have the Giants-Rams, Patriots-Chiefs, and Bills-Raiders. Out of these, I don't know, like, probably the Chiefs game is the one that I'll be watching.
Oh yeah, there's no doubt on that one.
Yeah, like I don't see the point in watching the Bills Raiders. Even though I'm a Giants fan, I don't see the point in watching the other game.
The Bills have been good this year. The Bills are good enough this year that, like, if you don't know how good that they are, they're probably worth a watch just to, like, learn. The Raiders are 2-1, I think, so that could be good. Especially, I don't know. The Cowboys, or no, not the Cowboys. The Rams certainly gave the Bills a shot last week, and LA was 1-1, so it has potential, but it's probably all eyes on New England and Kansas City.
Yeah. All right, and the Sunday night and Monday night games are the Eagles, 49ers, and Falcons, Packers, respectively. So,
in your Sunday night game here, the Eagles, 49ers, is a game that going to the season, if all things look right with the rosters and everything like that, and everything works out to where, like, the Eagles are probably like 2-1, 49ers are 2-1, 3-0, then this is a good game. The fact of the matter is IR has taken out every weapon that the 49ers has ever had in the past 3 years, and the Eagles have Carson Wentz playing like he's
2 interceptions a game, right? I think
Doesn't
he has
matter.
like 2 interceptions.
Tied with the Bengals. Tied with the Bengals.
Oh.
A coach that doesn't go for the win in overtime, which is really weird. But
yeah.
I mean, if you don't have confidence in yourself to be like, if we miss a field goal, it's the Bengals on the other end, then you might need to just call it a season.
Yeah.
Because it's the Bengals. They don't have anybody but Joe Burrow and their wide receivers. Like, AJ Green is now a little past his prime, but Tyler Boyd is becoming an extreme weapon.
Mm-hmm.
And then they drafted T. Higgins. So, and then I guess Joe Mixon. I don't know.
Yeah.
But they have no defense, so.
And then your Monday night game of the Falcons-Packers.
Look for the Falcons to not blow a lead in this one, because they're never going to have it.
Oh, boy.
Aaron Rodgers is playing out of his mind.
Yeah, I think it's the Packers game.
What's funny? You know what's funny is, in my fantasy draft with my coworkers this year, Aaron Rodgers slipped way late in the draft.
Mm-hmm.
My coworker drafted Jared Goff in front of Aaron Rodgers, and I called him out for it, and he said Rodgers was a bust now. And I said, is he a bigger bust than Jared Goff?
Dude, Jared Goff, what are you doing?
And he said yes, and Rodgers has gone off this season. I was looking to pick up Rodgers in the 10th or 11th round of that draft because it was like, he's still there. I didn't get him, but goddamn, he is on a tear this year.
Because Rodgers went early in the draft that my family did.
See where he went.
All right, last game to cover is the Steelers-Titans.
Yeah, it's happening week 7 now.
It's happening week 7 now. So is that their bye week or?
This week is our bye week now.
Well, yes, but so that was both of the teams' bye week before.
So the way it happened is both Baltimore and Pittsburgh had bye weeks week 8.
Yeah.
So the Steelers were going to play the Ravens week 7. Now that gets moved to week 8, and the Steelers play the Titans week
7, and they have their bye week this week.
Correct.
Well,
and by the way, in my league, Aaron Rodgers got picked in the 14th round, 131st pick.
Jeez.
In a 10-team league.
That's a lot. That's far. Yeah, so
I got Stephon Gilmore in the same round, just to tell you how deep that was.
Dude, okay. So do we want to have the wheel pick the winners, or do we want to talk about a little bit more about this COVID situation for the Titans?
Let's just pick the winners, because we've had a week of the Titans organization having additional COVID tests announced every single day. It's like a multi-level marketing scheme, but for Tennessee. Like, at some point, they're going to be like, hey, Mary Kay Cosmetics, we're here to sell you lipstick. No, I don't want COVID.
All right.
That's pretty much how MLMs work. Pyramid Scheme 101.
All right, so we're going to skip the Broncos-Jets game because that happened. So we're going to go with the Saints-Lions first. Do you want to guess what the wheel will pick, or just go along with it?
Sure.
All right, so we did this in home and away. So
and it's the Saints.
So yeah, the away team is going to win this game, which is
perfectly normal.
All right.
The away team being the Saints.
Yeah, the Chargers Bucks now. And this one's for the home team.
It's the Buccaneers.
The Bucks. Yeah, I can see that. I was leaning towards the Bucks.
I can see it too. I really don't want the Buccaneers to be good this year, but
I was leaning towards the Bucks in that matchup.
I think if the Buccaneers can find their stride, they'll sail into the playoffs. But if they don't and they keep going up and down, then they'll maybe at best barely sneak in. I need Chris Godwin, at least for fantasy's sake, to stop getting hurt.
Is saying the Bengals will take it. That's surprising. Anything to comment on that? No?
I mean, the Jaguars really don't have much.
But do the Bengals have more?
Does anybody have less?
Probably. The amount of injuries on the 49ers, you don't think they have left?
I think they have more left on defense than the Bengals do on offense.
All right. The Vikings-Texans. It's a home crowd today.
It's the Texans. Let's not... I mean, home crowd is a little bit insulting to people who can't go to games, huh?
True. You can go to games in Texas, though.
In Dallas, yeah. I don't know that...
I thought Houston did too, huh? Well...
I don't know. I haven't watched a Houston home game yet.
Oh, okay. All right. Seahawks, Dolphins. The Seahawks take it.
Yeah, Russ cooking. Russell Wilson is on a fucking tear.
All right. If the Cowboys aren't this one, then I don't know what's going on. Yep. The wheel says the Cowboys will take it.
Okay, so the wheel's just going back and forth, which means 6.25 second wheel spins are not very productive when there's only 2 results.
Yeah, I mean, we're getting actually a lot of homes, because this is saying the Panthers will win.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I think so. I think we've gotten more homes than aways. Anyway, on to
I just mean I don't think that the Panthers are going to win.
Oh, okay. I'm not really sure. Anyway... On to the Colts-Bears.
Boy. The Colts are not great, but the Bears are still not good, despite being 3-0.
Yeah, well, they're going to be 4-0, apparently.
Sure. The next New England Patriots have a quarterback change that almost cost me in fantasy last week. Because I started Trubisky.
Oh, really? All right.
It wasn't doing that bad, statistically.
Yeah, Baltimore and Washington.
Better than Kirk Cousins. Washington.
The Washington football team.
Washington is going to lose.
Not according to the wheel, dude.
The wheel doesn't know what it's doing.
All right, L.A. and New York. L.A. Does the wheel know what it's doing?
Good. Yeah, it clearly does in this instance because the Giants are terrible.
Yeah. And Sterling Shepard...
Take the Giants, the Jets, and their grass, put it in a bowl, and just light it on fire. Because they all need to go down.
Oh. Alright, Patriots, Kansas City.
Kansas City is my pick.
The Patriots is the wheel's pick. Bills...
Look, Cam Newton, as good as he's been so far this year... Like, they can't do this whole, lean on the run game thing that they did to beat the Raiders when Mahomes and all those weapons are healthy on the other side of the ball.
Yep. I agree.
The Patriots receivers don't scare me.
Yeah. But the wheel says
Edelman and then nothing. And Cam would rather run, so.
Yeah. All right. Bills, Raiders. I'm going to say Bills in this one. The wheel's going to say Bills in this one.
Yeah, makes sense to me. The
makes
Bills
sense
are a
to
really
me.
good team.
All right. The Sunday night game. If the wheel doesn't pick the 49ers... No, it's going to pick the Eagles, I think. What do you say about that? I mean, the 49ers are...
I think this is the Eagles' best chance at winning a game.
Yes, I agree, but it's also...
They still have a lot of starters. The 49ers can't say that.
I mean, their one starter is throwing one of their starters is throwing 2 interceptions per game.
You're going to tell me that are you really going to guarantee to me that Nick Mullins isn't going to throw 2 interceptions in a game?
No, I'm not. All right, and the Monday night game, we are saying Packers. The wheel is saying Packers. All right. So I think the wheel did a pretty good job.
I think so too. By the way, last week, Mullins had an interception, so 2 is not out of the realm of possibility.
Yep.
And speaking of injuries and injury replacements, moving on to our next dive, 175 NFL players are on IR right now.
So if you're watching the VOD, then you can see this giant list that's very small.
Dude, there's no way I could trim the fat on this thing. There's no fucking way.
And that's probably like look how many. If you're watching the VOD, that's the list. We didn't cut it.
We did get the banner of the website stuck in the screenshot, but that's the complete list as told by the footballdatabase.com, I believe.
Yeah. And
it is up to date because our high school classmate Matt Ioannidis was on the list. He went down this past week with torn triceps.
Yeah.
So
I like how that's your confirmation.
Just go with what I know, man. If there's 175 players, like there's going to be at least 100 cases of players that I don't know.
And yeah, so on top of the Titans COVID thing.
Oh, yeah. We needed more. The Titans' whole roster should just be on IR right
now. You might as well just put their coaching and athletic training staff on there, too.
Which, by the way, in fantasy football for Yahoo, they're not giving you COVID bench spots for postponed games. They are saying that they will only allow a player to have a COVID designation if they test positive for COVID, which is a fully flawed plan because of HIPAA. They don't have to disclose if they have it.
Yeah. I mean, also, like, at least in ESPN, which is where my parents use, the commissioner gave an extra bench spot to the whole league this year. So
IR slot was just full with Dallas Goedert. That's all I have. I had to drop a safety to make room for a kicker because of the postponed game.
Can you just switch out your kicker?
I'm not dropping Boswell, man. This is a Pittsburgh league. Someone's going to take him.
Oh, okay. Anyway, so
I got Nathan Crosby, though, so I'm okay.
All right, yeah. I mean, you also have a 10-team league, so there's only 10 kickers taken. As
far as we know.
Yeah, anyway, like, you got the Broncos with 11 people on the IR.
Yep.
That's one team. And then you have the Steelers.
That's a fifth of the roster on IR.
A fifth of the roster. And then you have the Steelers with 2.
Yeah. And the 2... I don't even know who they are. Oh, Zach Banner and...
And I know, like, the Giants
probably the punter.
Yeah, and I know the Giants have Sterling Shepard on the IR. Yeah, and the Broncos are on their third quarterback. It's like this, and it's like, think about it, right? We've gone through 2 games. It will be the third game for the Broncos, right? And will be the third game for most teams. This is basically the end of their preseason. But everybody's going full force. So this is what you get. And the Meadowlands grass. So yeah, it's just like I think that like in the next few weeks we'll start seeing less and less people get onto the IR. So as people get off, the list will shrink. But we just wanted to bring awareness to it's like that many people are on the IR, players are on the IR.
Yep, I found out who the second one was. Steven Wisniewski, backup offensive lineman.
Oh, okay.
He's from here though, so it hurts, man. It hurts.
All right. Yeah. Anyway, on to college football. So, the big news here is the Big Ten entered the top 25 this week, right?
And the Pac-12.
And the Pac-12. But
in their one spot, because the Pac-12 only is Oregon. They really should have just said that the Pac-12 would stay shut down, but Oregon would play. Because that's all the Pac-12 really is.
Yeah, and like they haven't played any games yet, or they've played one or haven't played any?
They have not played.
They have not played any games yet.
They're not coming back until like November.
And they're in the top 25 already, guys. So,
yep.
So if you look...
Keep in mind, Ohio State also jumped to number 6 without playing a game.
Yeah, but okay, so if you look, right, on the... in the week 3 top 25, you have Pitt at 21, right? In week 4, when they're just announced they're going to play, right? Pitt's at 24.
Yep. Despite the fact that Pitt played number 24 Louisville, won, and moved down in the rankings 3 spots. Just because the Big Ten and Pac-12 decided to wake up, we're taking actual good games and strength wins off the table for other conferences.
Right. So
and it's sad because teams that were getting shine like Marshall at 25 in week 3 will probably never touch the top 25 again.
Yeah. And so just there were 4 or 5 teams that entered the top 25, sorry. Ohio State, Penn State, Oregon,
Michigan.
Wisconsin and Michigan?
Yep. You know your logos.
Apparently I know something.
Okay, so let's take a look at some of the teams that got bounced of lower status.
Yeah.
And I'm sure part of this would probably be because a couple teams lost, but we're not going to dive too deep into it.
Let's just start with Louisville is out, but they lost.
And
they were 24, right?
Yep.
So that's
Marshall won.
Uh-huh.
They were 25. And they're out.
But who they beat?
App State, I think.
Okay, because if we don't know
App State was ranked though.
Oh, okay. Were they 22?
Oh no, App State was ranked. That was the previous week. My apologies.
Oh, okay.
But App State was 23 week 2. So.
Okay, so they should have. Okay.
Kentucky got bounced.
Yeah.
Army got bounced. Army was number 22.
Yeah.
Louisiana, which was number 19, the Ragin' Cajuns got bounced.
Vatek.
Virginia Tech got bounced. BYU got dropped. Memphis dropped significantly. I don't know if Memphis lost, but they went all the way from 17 down to 25.
Yeah.
That's pretty much the extent of it.
What about OSU? Oh no, OSU just went down 2. Yeah, it's the extent of it then.
Yeah. But that's a lot of teams still.
Yeah. I mean, that's surprising to me, right? They just said they're going to be back and your team's top 25. And how is this ranking going to work when they don't play games until November for most of these teams?
By the way, Memphis did not lose any games. They're just 1-0. And dropped 8 spots without doing really anything wrong.
But, it just doesn't make sense, right? You have Penn State at 10, right? They're not going to play a game for a little bit. So
We have another 3 weeks.
they have 3 weeks till they play a game. What's going to happen to their ranking? Like, teams are going to move around them, and they're just going to stay at 10? Or are you just like, I don't get it. I really don't.
I don't know. My thing is Ohio State's probably going to move up into the top 4. Like, somebody's going to lose a game, and Ohio State's going to be automatically in playoff picture without a game.
Yeah, and the other thing is, when does the season end for these guys, and like how many games are they actually playing?
They're not going to have a bye week. They just go straight into playing against their conference.
But like, how many games are they actually playing until the playoff? Because like,
I couldn't tell you that. I've probably 7.
yeah, but like, you have the rest of these teams that have been playing that will definitely have more than 7 games on their sheet.
Yeah, and because they're out of conference games, they won't mean anything, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I think this year, if you were deciding to put it all on the line for entertainment purposes for the fans and all that other stuff, you should be rewarded more for the risk that you put in and for the dedication that you put in instead of the conferences that decided to wait it out until the last minute.
Yeah.
It's not fair for you to put yourself, your body, your health on the line for an extra 4 or 5 weeks for somebody else to benefit.
Yeah.
And to steal those opportunities away from you.
That's why, like, and then the other thing is, like, what happens if Ohio State loses a game so they end 6-1, right?
So, I mean, they'll probably drop out of the playoff picture, but they'll probably still be top 10.
Exactly.
I don't see a scenario where Ohio State isn't top 10.
Yeah, but like a lot of this is like, you know how the college rankings are pretty heavily based on like if you're in the major conference and if you're undefeated and you have 1 loss, right? But now you'll probably have like a team that's like 8-9-1 against an Ohio State that's like 6-1. What are you gonna do? It just, like, I feel sorry for, like, the players who are actually playing. It's, like, their last year or whatever, and they have something to play for now that all these teams aren't coming, and they just say, oh, we're going to come back now, and that just kind of screws all these players in the... So, yeah. I mean, this is definitely going to be interesting to keep track of, especially as the Big Ten will start playing. But I'm really curious as to what's going to happen for the next 2 weeks of rankings while they're not.
I'll let you know.
All right. On to what just finished this past week in the NHL. So, here's the playoffs were... looked like. We had the Stars and Lightning in the Stanley Cup, and the Lightning took it. I think both of us expected that. There's not much else to say.
Dallas was gonna last 7. I really did.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
I think that game 1, I thought that was a statement win for them, and I saw them kind of upsetting the Lightning because. I mean, the Lightning have been contenders for the Cup for the past 7 or so years.
Yeah.
Ever since Stamkos really got the captain patch on him.
Yeah.
And they just always found a way to either not get there or to lose to the Blackhawks or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
They always found a way to lose it.
Yep.
So I was under the assumption that if Dallas came out and made a statement, it was Dallas's to lose.
Yeah, but
they made a statement, but then
every other overtime, man.
Overtime hockey is the greatest and worst thing to happen.
Those games were great, though. They were like, oh my god, that
they are, but it's not if it's your team that lost.
Yeah, but as a fan of hockey that doesn't have any emotional investment in either of these teams, that was some great like games to watch.
Overtime hockey needs like a medication sponsor. Something to just take the edge off. What's the reverse of 5-hour energy? Like, it needs like a THC commercial. Or like
Negative
a
5-hour
commercial.
energy.
If the NHL could partner up with a marijuana company.
Yeah, it's not happening for quite a while.
I don't know, man. They got Snoop Dogg to DJ the All-Star game like 3 times.
Did you see like the NHL reached out to like Tampa as like, what the heck are you doing?
In regards to
Their
the
celebration.
dog that was sniffing the Stanley Cup?
Yeah, the celebration stuff.
What were they doing?
I didn't get a full picture because I was just reading it earlier, but like it basically the NHL just had to make a statement absolving them of any guilt of anything to happen to anybody during their celebration. Because like I'm pretty sure they're trying to plan like a parade and all that BS too.
So after all this bubble shit, they're gonna go home and have a parade.
I mean, obviously, like Florida has 0 social distancing rules, so at least they were gonna do.
Yeah, but like, can you last a week before you go? Like, because people don't stop going to Florida for vacations and shit either.
Yeah.
Like, Florida is one of the states that's the reason why, like, we have the waves of COVID that go up every now and then.
Mm-hmm.
People don't stop going there. They come back here, and they want, like, shove their vacation pictures in someone's face, give them the phone to hold, and now everybody has COVID.
Yep.
All because you wanted to show off that you look good in a bathing suit.
Mm-hmm. All right. But I want to get your thoughts on what you thought of, or what did you think of the NHL bubble now that it's over?
Worked. That's all I care about.
It worked. The games were great. Aside from that one midday Game 7, I have no problems with that bubble. It worked. The games were nice.
Other one, and the play-in round where the overtimes went so deep, where they had to reschedule a game.
Yeah.
That was the only other bad moment.
Yeah.
When I literally went to a deck hockey game, played it, and came back home
and the game was still on. Yeah. But again, like the production of the games was great. I think they did it perfectly, and I'm glad we got to see the end of the season. All right, on to the next bubble, the NBA. So, here we have the NBA Finals of the Lakers and the Heat. I know you and I were just talking before this, but it's basically the Lakers to, as long as they don't crash and burn in a historic way, it's theirs.
Oh yeah, the Heat are injured.
Like a lot of injuries.
Well, not a lot of injuries, but it just happens to be to 2 of their best 3 players.
Yeah, and then Butler's hurt, but he's still playing. I think somebody else also. And that's like 4 players that are injured. Even if you're still playing on an injury is different.
Well, yeah, hockey guys do it, though.
Yeah.
Basketball is just hockey that's on a floor.
With
and
no
with
pads.
no walls. And no men.
No pads. No puck flying at you at 100 miles an hour.
No dignity. No self-respect. No opportunities to figure things out the right way.
Oh my god, dude.
It's basically just like playing chess.
Yeah, alright, so what did you think of like the rounds previously?
I'm not fucking watching NBA.
I mean,
I'm not on some weak shit.
I mean, I'm kind of glad that like they had quite a few series go 6 or 7 games. I really didn't think that would be the case, but like a lot of their series was like if you're a fan of basketball, that's good. I personally don't like basketball a lot, but seeing that it went to Game 7 still brings like a little bit of hype to the games and all that.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Also, never do the call-in fans ever again.
It was fun when it was like the regular season games, but it got really stupid after that.
It got old after the first or second day.
I'd say the same thing was true of the NHL ones.
But I kind of like in that
the NHL ones weren't as in your face.
The NHL has no fans, right? So they literally just covered the seat. The MLB ones, on the other hand, it's just like, oh, we have cardboard cutouts of fans in the stand. So, I don't know. I just don't like it. Cardboard cutouts are one thing, but, like, that's just distracting if you have, like, an actual fan waving around on, like, a different background than what the rest of your court is. Yeah.
And congrats to the NBA for changing the court. Since you said court, for changing their court ever so slightly to resemble the finals. We really needed the baseline to be red and blue. Ooh, boy. Fucking keep the same floor. You don't have to waste money like that.
Alright. On to the newest bubble, the MLB, which isn't even bubbling, the bubble is not fully there yet. So
no, it will be after tonight.
So the bubble will be started after tonight when all the teams get there. But yeah, the wildcard games are done. And
no.
After tonight they'll be done, but the only surprise is really the Marlins, I think, made it through.
The Marlins swept the Cubs.
Yeah, but that's the only surprise.
Like, that should make you think about life in 2020 right there. The
Yeah.
Cubs lost to the Marlins, which, by the way,
a 3-game series.
The Marlins have never lost a playoff season or a series. They won the World Series in '97. They won the World Series in 2003, and then they won this round. They've never lost a playoff series in their existence.
As Miami Marlins?
No, as just the Marlins in general. Florida or Miami.
Jeez. All right. So I guess the Marlins are winning.
They just don't make the playoffs when they're bad.
But like aside from the Marlins sweeping the Cubs, any series surprise you in any way?
The San Diego St. Louis crap has lasted as long as it should. I thought that San Diego was going to put the whooping on that shit.
Yeah, but it's a 3-game series, dude.
So? Every fucking series in baseball is a 3-game series.
Yeah, true. I beat
you with your own math, bitch.
But for the playoffs, right? Like now that the division series is starting, it's going to be 5 games, and then the AL and NLCS and the final are the.
I will say
7.
I'm surprised that the A's made it.
You are?
Yeah, I'm surprised that the A's made it past the wild card round because, I get that the White Sox are young in all areas, but the A's just don't strike me as a team that is any better.
Okay.
They just seem like a stagnant, make the playoffs but lose kind of team.
I don't know. I just, I didn't see the White Sox, even if they made, for me, that series could have gone either way, and I don't see the White Sox doing anything past that if they made it past the A's. Aside from that, hopefully these, now that it's a 5-game series, what do you think of these matchups, aside from the one we don't know yet?
think that the the Marlins one actually has a potential to be good right now. I'm curious to see if Tampa Bay will actually do something against the Yankees. It
Tampa
seems
holds
like
the season series at 8-2.
that's fine and all, but like when it comes to the playoffs, I just don't see Tampa getting past a powerhouse like this.
Okay.
It's happened too many times the other way. Kershaw this year he had 13 strikeouts last night in the playoff game, so that's pretty fucking good for him. But at the same time, I think if San Diego wins, then I would like San Diego to go pretty far this year.
Okay.
And I'd like Houston to lose, just like the rest of the world.
That's the rest of the world. Let's go A's. Yeah. I
don't think it's going to happen like that, but like I said, I don't believe in the A's to make it to the CS.
I hope they can at least like put a good show on, because
sure,
I think they can make the series go 5 games easily. I don't know if they'll win the 5th game, but I think they can make the series go 5 games. Yeah. All right, on to Jeremy, you have something to ask?
A lot of questions. I have a lot of thoughts. So to follow up with our I pose a question segment from last week, we bring forth a couple scenarios this week. All right. So of the teams or of the cities in the United States with more than one sports team for a certain sport, which city deserves to lose one of the teams the most? So just to go through this with you, and we're going by metro area here.
Okay.
So for LA, we're also going to do Anaheim. So LA, you have the Dodgers and Angels, you have the Lakers and Clippers, you have the Kings and Ducks.
Mm-hmm.
Then for New York, you have the Mets and Yankees, the Knicks and Nets, the Jets and Giants, the Rangers and Islanders. Then in Chicago, you have the Cubs and White Sox. And then in the Bay Area, you have the Giants and A's, Raiders and 49ers.
Right.
So me personally, I think that the Knicks need to go the worst. But because they're in New York City...
They play an MSG, dude. They'd rather kick the Nets
they're
out.
not... Yeah, that's not going to happen. I feel like in Chicago, the White Sox are probably pretty close to just being phased out because of the Cubs being so overpowering in prominence. But if I had to give you a final answer, I'd say it's either the Angels or the Clippers.
Yeah, I was thinking the Clippers.
Angels the Clippers now are at partial relevancy.
Okay.
But the Angels, it's like they have Mike Trout and they still just can't do it.
Yeah, but again, I don't know. I think that it was the Clippers. Like when you first asked that, the first team that came to mind was the Clippers. I don't know why.
Oh, yeah.
It just did.
Yep. Okay. Well, that question was pretty easy. Then we'll move on. And the Clippers are getting put in the Pacific Ocean.
All right.
Maybe they'll come back as the first European team in pro sports.
All right. You have another one?
Oh yeah. Let's see here. All right. So now I ask you this.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen that the NFL has 32 teams. The NHL will have 31 or 32 teams once Seattle
will make it 32
up and running. MLB has 30. So expansion is not foreign to sports in the past 10, 15 years. But the NBA is a team hasn't had one since Oklahoma City, but that wasn't really an expansion. They relocated from Seattle.
Right.
So if they were to expand, which 1 to 2 cities would be the most deserving?
They have 30 teams, right?
They have 30.
I think they
so
go
let's
2
hypothetically
cities.
make it. let's hypothetically make it go to 32.
I think they put a team back in Seattle.
All right, so let's go through this. This is the top 2019-2020 Nielsen rated top markets for media.
Okay.
Because media markets do play a factor.
Matter a lot,
so
yeah.
Seattle, Tacoma is number 13.
Mm-hmm. Where's Pittsburgh on your list?
24. But just to let you know, Charlotte, who already has an NBA team, is 21. San Antonio is 31.
Yeah. But San Antonio's been there.
Vegas is 39, and there's been talks, and the NBA put an All-Star game there once.
Yeah, but the thing with Vegas is its media presence doesn't matter as much as, like, the fanfare of, like, going there, right? Because assuming everything opens back up, right? Even if you look at the hockey team in Vegas, right, they put on a show, so people want to go watch it, right? It's not about the concurrent viewers from... It is about the concurrent viewers from Vegas, but it's also about the show for the people who are just flying in for the weekend or whatever.
Yeah, well, we're in a pandemic. Nobody's going to Vegas.
Yeah, I said when this ends, right? That is Vegas's goal.
Oh, yeah, you can't have an expansion team during a pandemic. Let's not be stupid here. The top media market in the country that doesn't already have a team other than Washington, D.C. because of the Wizards that doesn't have a team is Tampa, St. Petersburg at 12, and Seattle, Tacoma at 13.
I think you put one in...
We don't need Florida teams.
Yeah, I think you put one in Seattle, and I don't think Tampa needs one.
Okay. Let's see here.
After that?
So St. Louis is 23. That's the next one that doesn't have...
And then Pittsburgh is 24.
Yep. And then Indianapolis, but that's really just Pacerland, is 25.
So, what?
Then Baltimore is 26, and then RDU in North Carolina is 27.
Raleigh Dickens?
RDU is 27. No, Raleigh-Durham.
Raleigh-Durham. What the heck was I talking about? Yeah. So my other question is, where do these teams need to go in terms of conference and division? Right?
There were talks about 10 years ago about the Pistons potentially moving to Pittsburgh. I found that out today.
I don't.
So that
I don't
would have
think,
kept them in the Mid-East or whatever the fuck.
I don't think a team in Pittsburgh is the wrong idea. I think it'll work, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Pittsburgh has shown to be super behind its teams. As long as the teams are behind them. Sorry, Pirates.
They don't invest in us, we don't invest in them. Right.
So I think that it's a fine market.
But if the NBA were to invest in us, at least for 5 years, we'd invest in them.
Yeah.
But
I think you'll get, the teams will get fans and be profitable, and if the owners of that team invest in the team, in Pittsburgh's case, they'll follow. In Seattle's case, I'm pretty sure they will also. I don't see a problem with either of those places.
I think we've agreed Seattle for one of them.
Yeah.
If we were to keep it going and create a 32nd team, do you go St. Louis, Pittsburgh, Baltimore?
I don't think you go Baltimore.
Nashville's 28. And that kind of gives more of a southeastern presence in the northern southeast than... Because, once you get into the Florida region, you have a lot. And you have a team in Atlanta. But when you hit the Carolinas and Virginia, you really don't.
You only have Charlotte, right?
You have Charlotte, and I guess technically the Wizards in DC, but that's really just that's just Northeast, extended at that point.
See, the thing is, I don't know how a team will do in Nashville. Like, I mean,
they got behind the Predators when they were good, but when the Predators haven't been good, it's lackluster. It's really lacking.
That's the problem, though. Like, you like in Pittsburgh, right? You're behind a team because they try, right? Even when the team does bad, because the team's not going to be good. Like, they have dynasties, right?
This town is so attached to the sports teams that it's like if the Penguins aren't playing, these people just need a reason to go to the same arena.
Yeah, but the thing is, right? If in sports, though, like you have ups and downs, right? You have like even the Rangers, right? They just got rid of Lundqvist.
Sure.
They have ups and downs. The problem is that the good thing for them is they have loyal fans. They have enough fans in that area, so they still fill the stadium.
Loyal's a stretch because it's New York City. It's Madison Square Garden. The seats are getting filled regardless.
Yeah, but the seats are getting filled. That's the thing, right? But you move out to Newark, right? When the Devils are bad, you get like 3/4 of the arena, maybe half.
Well, that's because it's Newark and the games are played at night.
Yeah, no, but
for people who listen, because we have a base of people that listen all over the world, Newark at night
is a bad idea.
Is a bad idea.
It's a bad idea.
It's a really bad idea.
Yeah.
You might as well park a town over and take the train if you're going to a Devils game, because it's a really bad idea.
Yeah. I mean, okay, to be fair, though, Newark has gotten a little bit better around the stadium, at least. Like, around the stadium, walking to the train station, and a couple blocks in all directions, it's gotten a little bit better.
Yeah, it's become urbanized.
Yeah, and, like, so it's not as bad as it was when we were kids. It's still not, like, great, though.
I'll never forget when I played that travel basketball game on, like, a YMCA in Newark on like the 7th floor of a rundown building. Like it was basically like if you envision like an old basketball gym in like a 70s movie with like the fans that are like built into the wall twirling. It was that. It was actually that. It was borderline like aircraft carrier, kind of like. All
right, though. Let's get back onto topic, right? I don't think you put a team in Baltimore. I'm skeptical about a team in Nashville.
If you don't put a team in Newark, you definitely don't put one in Baltimore at night.
And then so that leaves St. Louis and Pittsburgh from our list, right?
Unless you want to go deeper.
No, I don't.
We're not giving San Diego a team. California has enough.
No, they have too many. Yeah.
The only one I'll add, and I also want to keep in mind, Milwaukee has a team. They're number 35 on this list.
Mm-hmm.
Kansas City at 32. Kansas City is potential.
Minnesota is like Canada. So,
but Minnesota in itself, Minneapolis is number 15 in media market.
Okay.
Milwaukee is 35.
Yeah, but still, it's like Canada, so it's fine.
So again, I propose to you between Pittsburgh, St. Louis, and now Kansas City.
I don't think you take Kansas City either. I could see it, but I don't think so. I think you stick to St. Louis or Pittsburgh.
Do you take Kansas City if they had an NHL team too? Because keep in mind, they already have the Chiefs and they have the Royals. If they had an NHL team...
See, the thing is...
If they already shown that they can handle 3 teams, do you give them a 4th?
I don't think you put an NHL team or an NBA team there. I don't. unfortunately. It would be great to see a new Kansas City Scouts. But I just don't see it at the moment.
Okay.
I think
so. It's up to you. You pick.
See, the thing with St. Louis is it's just I think they can handle it as well, right? I think they can handle an NBA team and they will get the turnout and the viewership. So it really depends on what the NBA is trying to do, because they have a loyal fan base in Pittsburgh. Like I swear Pittsburgh will be loyal, but if they need the team, like I understand we can travel anywhere at a moment's notice. I mean, not right now, but normally. So the placement of the team isn't super important, but there are benefits and negatives to both. In terms of travel, especially right now, like NBA teams are like teams are bussing everywhere and all that.
Another drawback to Kansas City is it's not very busable. Like if the NBA were to play a season right now, the closest teams to Kansas City are probably Milwaukee, Minnesota, Chicago, and even then, that's a lengthy bus ride.
Yeah, so like
that's probably 9 hours at least.
So that's my point, right? Like, even in that sense, right? I think like if you're just looking at now with like team proximity, what do you think has better team proximity? Because I don't think it's Pittsburgh.
In terms of what? In terms of proximity
to other teams
that they would play. Pittsburgh would have Cleveland right next door.
6 hours.
They would have the Sixers.
Yeah, that's like 3 hours away, so that's fine.
And
then
DC's like 4 hours away for the Wizards. Then it gets a little bit trickier. I'd say about 7 hours away are the Knicks and Nets.
Yeah, it's like 7.5 hours. And that's a full day right there.
Charlotte's probably 9 days. Charlotte's probably 9 hours.
So, and that's a full day right there. Like, so if, like, the point is that
it getting any better for St. Louis?
I don't know. Is it like they still have like? I mean, you have Milwaukee. You have I don't know if it. See, the thing is, like, I don't know if it gets better, but again, and we're not really supposed to be planning around like this.
Milwaukee to St. Louis, just to let you know, is 5 hours 40 minutes.
Yeah, I'm gonna say if it's like, if we're gonna go, it's like 6 hours or under, around 6 hours or under. That's like okay. And so, like, and I don't think we should be looking too much into this because everything has to open up eventually, I hope. I mean, I see that the Pittsburgh fans at least want it. You don't really see or hear, at least around here, and like St. Louis saying, hey, give us an NBA team.
I mean, this billboard is from like 5 years ago.
Yeah, I know.
2 kids raised $2,600 for the billboards. They actually got the commissioner to respond. And the commissioner said, we're not expanding. It's just kind of a dickhead move by the commissioner. You know, I can appreciate that you gave the kids attention, but maybe just don't in that instance and crush their dreams.
Like, you know, politely decline, saying at the moment.
Well, they said, Commissioner Silver said that we don't have plans to expand right now, but Pittsburgh is a fantastic city. That's the way he phrased it.
Okay, see, that's not that bad.
It's not, but they were kids.
But the other thing is, right, like, if you're going to add a team in Seattle, like we're saying, you have to add a team in the East, right?
Oh yeah.
So I think if you're going to add a team in the East, Pittsburgh is the better spot for it than the Midwest of St. Louis.
Well, I mean, they moved the Grizzlies to the Western Conference. So
Memphis, right?
So if you were to move the Grizzlies to the Western Conference, St. Louis is going to have to be in the Western Conference. I mean, it's basically the same.
So if you move the Grizzlies back to the East, you can put a team in St. Louis.
Grizzlies don't want to be in the East.
I'm just saying, that's the only way. I'm not saying that's the right way. So, I mean, I would...
It's not the right way.
Put it in Pittsburgh if they need an East team. That's it. All right. Anything else?
No, I think we covered what we needed to. So, I think at the end of the day, it's Seattle and probably Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Maybe St. Louis.
I think,
see.
Yeah.
If you do map these out, there's pictures online of actual maps.
Mm-hmm.
When you look at the coastal United States on the east, and then up by Lake Erie and the Great Lakes, putting in Pittsburgh would basically be putting something right in the center of all that stuff. And if you were flying, that's the most convenient because right in the middle of everything.
Yeah.
It's probably equidistant flight for a lot of these places.
Yep.
But if we're talking drive commute, then it changes.
Both places are a little tough, but yeah.
Flying wise, it's a difference of an hour or two. But
yep. All right.
All right.
Thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you next time.